Every baby deserves the best possible start in life. Rich in antibodies, I beg your pardon, breastfeeding plays an important role in lowering infant mortality rate and has actually helped save more than 8,000 lives. According to stats, every 20 minutes in South Africa and has one of the lowest breastfeeding rates in the world. The Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, joins us this morning in our studios. Litona, good morning to you and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning and good morning to the viewers.
And we had to wake you up after a very hectic local government elections week.
How fair you can be. Unfair you can be.
We can be very unfair, but thank you so much for having made it.
But it's a very important topic. That's why I had to wake up.
Very important.
Extremely important.
But does everyone know how important breastfeeding is?
No, unfortunately. And that's the tragedy. Because breastfeeding is one of the best ever interventions any mother can do to a child, to a newborn baby, I mean to say. The best start in life ever. There's no other intervention known in medicine and science to give a child a good start in life than breastfeeding. Unfortunately, this fact is not known.
But whose responsibility is it for mothers to know the importance of breastfeeding?
Well, we are trying to run a campaign all over the world. That's why the World Health Organization has declared the first week of August as a breastfeeding week specifically. And you are aware that quite a number of things have been done. For instance, one of the things that lowered the rate of breastfeeding is what you could call development, the introduction of infant formulas, which took the world by storm. I'm sure you are aware that they are being discouraged. That's why you have never seen any of the infant feeding formulas being advertised on TV, on radio, on billboards anymore. And that ban came from the World Health Organization, that as long as we advertise infant feeding formulas, parents will believe this is the best way they must feed their babies, when actually it is one of the worst things that ever happened to humanity. And so that's why they are no longer being advertised.
But has it actually helped, the fact that they...
Yes, it does. Only a very, very select group of babies can use infant formulas. I'm not saying they are totally useless, but they are not as good as people are saying. They are an alternative if breastfeeding is impossible. Let me put it that way. An alternative only if breastfeeding is impossible. Whereas people took them as a replacement of breastfeeding. And that was very, very unfortunate. You are aware that here in South Africa in 2011, we called a breastfeeding conference where we even took a decision that the Department of Health must withdraw free infant feeding formulas from all our clinics. You know, we used to supply free infant feeding formulas.
So that doesn't happen anymore?
No, we stopped. We stopped. Only a few select group of babies have to get infant feeding, which must be recommended by a doctor. But just giving them willy-nilly, we've actually stopped. Because the issue now is exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. That is the standard, that every baby born on this planet, the mother ought to be able to breastfeed that baby exclusively for the first 6 months. When we say exclusively, we mean no other. You don't eat any other thing. No water, no formula, no nothing. No water. I mean,
breast milk has everything in it.
Everybody can take a bit of water. There's nothing wrong with sipping a bit of water, but any other infant feeding formula or any other food stuff must not accompany that breastfeeding for the first 6 months.
Sure. Okay, but Minister, breastfeeding in what it is seen, according to you, especially in public places, some people find it offensive for a mother to sit down and, take out
Who must find it offensive?
Yeah.
Who must find it offensive? I made a statement last week and I'm still repeating it. Adults eat all over. They eat in cinemas, they eat in planes, they eat everywhere. And then they are saying when the baby must eat, they must go and hide in some corners or in some toilet somewhere. Why should that be? It's unacceptable. A woman ought to be able to breastfeed their baby anywhere where they like. And I don't find anything wrong with that. What is offensive about that? Women's breast, they display them in magazines all over and nobody
So there's
objects.
Nothing new there.
There's nothing new there. You see women breast in magazines, in traditional dance, some women dance with their bare breast. I don't find anything offensive. It's just a culture that humanity has developed, which is a useless culture. to say a woman must go to hide when they feed their babies. I don't support that.
They must do it anyway. Be it in
They must do it anywhere, and we are going to fight that it happens anywhere. Because as I said, the future of babies hangs on that.
Now, tabaya generation ya rona, Minister, you find that people our age don't believe in breastfeeding. That's why I was asking if, do we really know the importance of breastfeeding?
That's a strategy. Let me give you the importance of breastfeeding. Why the World Organization even took the steps they did. And why in South Africa we even removed free breastfeeding formulas from, free infant feeding formulas from the clinics. Because we want to make sure that there is breastfeeding. As you said when you started, infant formula milk, no matter how good it will ever be, doesn't have antibodies that protects the baby from diseases. Those antibodies are only found in breastfeeding, and babies are not born with antibodies. They acquire them later in life. So very early on, they must get antibodies from their mother. Otherwise, they easily get sick. They get diarrhea, they get all sorts of infections, they get standard growth, etc., etc. And there's no way you can ever help them except with the breast milk.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, even for the future, children who are breastfed are found less likely to become obese in future, or even to develop type 2 diabetes. It has just been found even recently that they even do well at school than children who are not breastfed.
Oh.
So yes, so breastfeeding has got all the advantages in health, diseases, and even intelligence. But it's also good for the mother too, because it prevents all sorts of things. It's family planning. Breastfeeding is family planning. The mother doesn't easily develop diabetes also. They don't easily develop breast cancer. So all those things are advantages of breastfeeding.
There you have it, the advantages of breastfeeding. But maybe you'd have a message to the employers so that they give these young mothers or new mothers time to go breastfeed, isn't it?
Oh yes, we are going to demand that in every workplace. Mothers must be given time and space to breastfeed. It's important for the future of the child. We will engage the Department of Labor on these issues.
Okay. All right, Minister Ralebo.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was the Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, talking to us about the importance of breastfeeding. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, Valian is standing by with the latest in sport.